We say what they can't radio.
Get it in. Yeah. Be happy. Okay. Be happy. Okay. Be happy. Yeah. 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 Uh-huh. What's good? Uh-huh. What's good? Uh-huh. Yo.
All right.
We back, baby.
All right. So let me do it. Let me take another stab at it.
Go
Don't
ahead.
blink. Think.
Okay, hit me.
Would you rather
Yep.
be in a committed relationship or marriage and get cheated on? Or would you rather be in a committed relationship and a marriage and be the one that steps out and cheats?
Ooh.
Like, if it had to happen, which position would you want to be in?
I'll step out.
What? I got all the power. I'll step out. Why?
I've been through it before. I mean, I wasn't married, but I've cheated without stepping out. Can you?
Damn. You ain't even do the thing, and it was cheating, right?
Yeah.
So what do you consider stepping out?
Well, just letting your partner know that, it's not the right space for me at the moment.
No, what do you consider stepping out? What's considered cheating?
What's considered cheating? Oh, when you start hiding text messages, bro.
Damn.
When you start deleting DMs, you start. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah.
I've been there before.
So, hold on. Can you ask that question again, bro? Because I think I misinterpreted.
Would you rather be the one who gets cheated on, or would you rather be the one who cheats?
Oh.
That's a hard one, right, Pyro?
I would do the cheating.
You do the cheating? Wow.
Yeah.
What a dog. What a
Stop.
dog.
Don't you damn categorize me like that, bro. Don't you damn. How about you, bro?
How about me?
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I would say neither. I wish.
Bro,
right?
no, you got to do one. You got to pick one.
Oh, well, I would rather be the one who cheats. Not because I want to cheat, but because I think that being cheated on, I don't know, it's hard, bro. That's hard.
That is hard.
Damn. I thought it was easy when I was just asking it.
It's easy. It's easy when you're an interviewer, right?
Yeah, but no, I think the idea of infidelity, I think cheating or stepping out, emotional affairs, I think those are the worst. The emotional affairs are the worst, straight up. When the opportunities when you are dating someone and you step out emotionally, and you got to hide the text messages and you got to hide all the conversations.
Oh yeah.
So
that shit hurts.
That's definitely something, and it doesn't make you feel good. Actually,
it doesn't. It
absolutely.
doesn't.
Someone's calling?
Yeah. Our guest. He's at the door.
Who?
Rayvoughn.
Oh, Rayvoughn.
Yeah, he finally.
Yeah.
Late ass.
Whatever.
Yeah, man.
But go ahead.
That was a great question, bro. But all right, y'all. Thank you for tuning into the Ghetto Prophet Podcast, a podcast with 3 black male educators from Boston
and Brooklyn.
Atlanta's not here, so we'll call you soon, Atlanta. But when we come together to discuss
and argue
everything and anything affecting us this week, I'm your host, Mark.
And I'm Tariq.
And Michael's nowhere to be found. But yo, I want to start off and say how you feeling, man. And be honest.
Yeah, okay. You're only asking this because you saw me walk in here looking distressed.
And yeah.
So I would say right now I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. A bit overwhelmed. I would say everything that's happening, the development of the organization, Educators for Justice, this idea of what it means to go back to school as an educator. Are we going to be in the classroom, outside? There's some level of anxiety there. Some inner work that I'm doing when it comes to releasing some unforgiveness that I didn't realize was in my heart. Really processing that, man, and really struggling right now when it comes to having conversations and being passionate. It's been I'm in an interesting place. So I'm just really struggling right now when it comes to just some old friendships and dynamics, and I'm in this new space of life, and there's some friendships in my life that's been there that aren't serving me anymore, and I'm not serving them, right? and there's conflict and there's tension.
Right.
And I'm struggling with that. So just trying to figure it all out and just trying to just it's difficult. So that's all I'll say.
All right, man.
How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Remember my little anxiety a couple weeks ago when I went to the doctors, and but everything's all well,
Good.
I'm low on my vitamin D though, so I'm taking some vitamin D's pills so I can boost that up. But everything came
What
back.
about the bum on your lip?
Never had one.
You didn't have one?
I never had one.
Oh, I thought I saw one.
I'm real careful about that. But other than that, man, I've been doing good, man. I finished reading my book.
Niggas to Gods?
No, I finished that a long time ago. Finished reading a book called The Street Have No King. It's a pretty good book. I recommend it. Now I'm currently reading Jay Williams' book.
The NBA player.
The NBA player, yeah. It's a pretty good book. I'm also adding a couple more books into my rotation, so I'm trying to, maintain reading 3 books at the same time. So
that's what's happened to me. I think what's also caused me to kind of not feel grounded. I haven't been reading a lot this summer. Remember last summer? I think I was reading like 10 books.
Yeah, you would call me in randomly, like, yeah, what you doing? Like, that's when the whole podcast conversation started.
Yeah, exactly. So, what you reading, Mark? And so I got to get back to that. We got a couple more weeks on vacation before we hear the official verdict of how we going back to school.
Yeah.
Yo, man, I'm really interested in everything that's happening because at the end of the day, education is, we got to grow, we got to learn, man. So the more books we read, the more books the more information we kind of digest, the better and the stronger we become. So.
Got to keep that mind fluid, brother.
Absolutely.
All the time. And, what's good, baby? Man, living, man. Let's go.
What up, baby?
Now, you missed the don't blink think question. No. Don't think blink or is don't blink think?
Don't blink think.
How am I?
Just quick.
I don't know, man.
All
You want to ask him? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him. So this is the don't blink thing. You gotta give your first reaction to it. This is my question. Would you rather be in a committed relationship and married and cheat? Or would you rather be in that committed relationship and married and get cheated on? Cheating will happen. So this is the premise. Would you rather be the one that cheats or the one that gets cheated on? You make sure you speak directly into the mic. You gotta talk really up.
Oh, that's the setup. I'm a lover, not a fighter. So I guess I might just gotta take the licks here. I might be the one get cheated on, then do the cheating.
Really?
Only for one reason. Because if that happened, then you could DIP, but there's no need to. In this scenario, if I could see, I'm not the one inflicting harm. I'm just the one reacting. So that's different.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, Will Smith.
And we got my good brother on the phone, man. Geno, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
Can we hear him?
Yo, Geno.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Can you now, man? It's your turn to answer this question.
What's up? What's the question?
Please ask again, Ty.
Oh, man, I'm tired of asking this question. I'm starting to feel horrible.
I know, now it's all good.
So, Geno, let me ask you a question. So, would you rather be in a committed relationship and end up cheating? Or would you rather be the one who cheats on your significant other?
Does it have? I don't want to be in.
Yeah, you got it's cheating. This dynamic is going to happen. This is hypothetical.
If I gotta pick one, man, I can't sacrifice my morals as a person. You know what I mean? So but at the same time, I don't want to leave myself susceptible to being hurt. So it's tricky.
This is where you have to be selfish.
Yeah, I got to look up for myself.
Geno, don't let them infect you. You got a good heart, sir. Don't let them infect you.
Which one is it, Geno?
I got to look out for myself. If I got to pick one, then that means she probably going to do it at some point too. So that's kind of how I think about it. If the relationship is there and somebody is, you feel like somebody has to cheat, then, it might as well be me.
Might as well. I understand. I heard you, bruh. Heard you. Nah, but this is crazy. This is a great discussion. I think because we see so many people in our society that always talks about cheat. Like everybody cheat. Everybody cheat. I don't think everybody cheats, but I think it happens more often than we would admit. And I think the way is in some way, shape, or form. In a sense, everyone in some way, shape, or form has cheated or been cheated on. Mm-hmm. Now you may not think you were cheating.
But you were.
But you were. when you got to hide the DMs.
I don't know.
So do you consider? Mark said cheating starts when, Mark?
When you start deleting text messages and hiding DMs. What do you think, G? Isn't that when cheating starts?
I think the cheating starts when I think the cheating starts when the thoughts creep in and you start texting in the first place.
At the root of it.
Because if the thought wasn't there, like you shouldn't even be thinking about doing that.
Dang.
You know, like why is that even on your mind?
But what if you're not the one who's really engaging? Is the person that's texting you is just like, sending you these like, these hints?
What are we talking about here? So if the person is texting me and they're trying to get me to cheat,
yeah, the devil's always working.
If they trying to get me to cheat, then I just gotta be disciplined enough to stay away from that or remove myself from the situation. Easier said than done.
Who's doing the work? Your higher self or your lower self?
Gotta stay with the higher self, man. That's the trick. You gotta stay up top. You gotta use your head up top. Yeah.
Yes, don't let your little head think for your big head. That's right.
You know what I mean?
But let's get this thing started, man. I didn't introduce these two young kings well, but I had the pleasure to attend an HBCU in New Hampshire with these two young brothers, University of New Hampshire.
Oh my God! Stop, bro. This HBCU, you about to get banned. You about to get canceled in the black community.
Are you aware that misinformation spreads faster than correct information?
Listen, that's what the folks feed off of, so might as well feed that shit to them. All right, but no, I had the pleasure to play football with my brother Geno. We built a strong bond. I know he's the type of brother that I could call up anytime, and and the love's not lost. We could, we haven't spoken over a year, but when he do call, I'm like, oh, what's good, nigga? It's all love. It's all love. But today we have two special young kings to join in the GP today. Rayvoughn Millings. Did I pronounce that right, bro?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And Geno Miller, yo. Thank you for joining the GP today, fellas. So either one of you guys, just go ahead, tell the folks a little bit about yourself. What do you guys do? And what institution? Well, not one institution, but just tell us a little bit about yourselves. That's pretty much it. Who's first?
Go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, Rayvoughn, you go ahead.
Okay,
first.
cool. Okay, well, thank you for the introduction and pronouncing all 9 letters of my name perfectly. I appreciate that, the respect. My name, he already said my name. I am originally from, Brooklyn, New York, right here, Kings County, East Flatbush. My parents Caribbean immigrants. Got a Jamaican and Guyanese blood in me, so real feisty at times.
Mm-hmm.
And currently, I work in the tech industry and I do as software engineering and things of that nature. So yeah, we're just here to talk about what the invention that we're embarking on and stuff of that nature.
That's what's up. G. Let me hear more about you, bro.
Yeah, man, you already know enough. I think the people need to know, but no, it's a pleasure being here, everybody. My name is Geno Miller. Born and raised in Washington, D.C. area, Fort Washington, Maryland, to be exact, about 10 minutes from the city itself. And, I like to call it the nitty gritty and pretty county of PG, Prince George's County in Maryland. And, that's where I came from. The way I met Mark is through playing football at the University of New Hampshire. I was fortunate enough to, earn a scholarship to find a path to college. It wasn't easy making it out of that area, coming from the Washington, D.C. area. A lot of people know it's a very pretty city, but at the end of the day, we are surrounded with guns and drugs and violence, and that's the same things that we're surrounded with in a lot of inner cities. New York is very similar to that. So we run a company called Shtudy, and everything that we do is to help ease that gap between people from underrepresented or city communities, and life opportunities, career opportunities, so on and so forth. So more than happy to be here. More than happy to speak with people. And Mark, you already know the ties run deep, brother. So
yeah,
appreciate
man.
you having me.
It's no doubt, man.
Yes,
Anytime, it's all love between me and you, and the family always stays tight, man. Even though if we haven't communicated in a while, so just know that the love is over here, bro. But to continue on, man, we're gonna go on and support our queens, and a queen that will never stop supporting, Breonna Taylor. We won't stop saying your name until you receive justice. You know what I find so confusing and so ignorant is that the fact that Louisville has no problem arresting anyone, because a couple days ago they arrested over 100 peaceful protesters. Right?
Yeah.
If you guys have no problem arresting peaceful protesters, what's the problem with you arresting 3 officers that killed Breonna Taylor? That shit is mind blowing to me. And I was so frustrated a couple days ago, and I still am, because you're telling me that these officers came in, had a no knock warrant to look for someone that was already in custody. Was there some type of, were they misinformed? I don't know. They're not doing their job. But an innocent woman got killed. A queen. And the fact that someone is protecting these officers for some reason, I don't know. That shit has to stop. That shit is nasty. That shit is disgusting. And something has to be done. Because there's no way peaceful protesters get charged with felonies.
Yeah.
For a peaceful protest. It makes no sense.
Yeah. I think that's definitely one of the things that we that's not being called out. I think a lot of the stuff that we're seeing in our communities, communities of color, a lot of the injustices is becoming clearer and clearer that this is what it is, right? And this is the system. It's revealing itself more and more.
Of course.
And it's nonsense. And that DA is a black man. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like this stuff is like these are the things that people are doing, and this is the system that we have. And how do we get rid of it? Whether we have people of color in leadership or whatever. That's shown that that's not necessarily going to be the fix to our problems.
Exactly.
Because not every person of color, and every black man, every black woman agrees or have the same values, or looks at our system and goes, "It's wrong." We got a black man, a Supreme Court justice, who's married to a white woman, and that white woman, his wife, you know what she did? She called her local town and asked them to remove the Black Lives Matters posters from their area.
Yep.
Because guess what? Her husband, who's a black man, his life doesn't matter, and he supports it. He supports what she said, right?
He's different.
Yeah. So Clarence, Uncle Tom, Thomas, we understand what it is. Like this is just what we have to continue dealing with. So it's pretty sad.
I think that echoes the common phrase you hear, all skin folk and kinfolk, so all skin folk and kinfolk, so that kind of echoes that where, just because we have the same exterior doesn't mean we think the same, So it's a situation where you really have to align with like-minded people to achieve the goals that you're trying to get to. In that arresting of the officers in the Breonna Taylor case, and of course more injustice.
Yeah, G, what you think, man?
Man, what I think, man, he a sellout. That's what I think. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that.
Facts.
I know people who have white significant others, and that doesn't mean they sacrifice their morals and their values just for the sake of agreeing or just for the sake of what they look like in the public eye. Right. But then again, I also don't associate with people who are willing to even consider sacrificing their morals just for the sake of, pleasing another party.
Right.
So that's what I think. I think he'll sell out.
Yeah, he's probably calling her queen and shit, right?
Go ahead, bro.
He in the Supreme Court. He got to call her something.
But that's not the only queen I want to shout out. I also want to shout out the queens that were able to, communicate with us over our IG story that we had, was it yesterday, a couple days ago? Oh, that was spicy. So we were talking about the 50 Cent video that went viral, but that's something that we could get later on into the show. But I definitely want to shout out the queens that were having healthy conversation with us through our direct messages, through our posts. We appreciate you guys, and you know that it's all love from the Ghetto Prophets. We support our women all day, 24/7, 365, rain, sleet, or snow, every minute, every second. Just know that we love y'all. But what's popping this week? Jada and Will. Jada's entanglements. Well, not entanglements. I don't know.
Well, we don't know.
We don't know. We only know one entanglement. And that's what people really want to hear, right? People want to know our thoughts on, these Jada's entanglement and their situation. And I want to start off by saying, I hope people would stop looking for other people's love. I want to start off by saying that. Stop wanting other people's love. Stop wanting other people's wants. Don't do that. Right. If you're looking for someone's love, you're starting off a wrong track, bro. That's not the route that you want to go to. You want to experience your own love. There's no way that I would want to experience, for example, a Jay and Bay love. I don't know them. I don't know what goes under there. I don't know. I don't want to know because it's none of my business. And love is something so sacred.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You got to start internally. You got to love yourself first before you love anyone else. Mm-hmm. Once you do that, and then you meet that other individual that you're in love with, you gotta start building a bond, and whatever happens with you guys stays between you, stays within, because that's when other people start getting involved, that's when shit starts getting messy. Right now, with this situation, I just hope that people don't want other people's love, because you never know what's going on in other people's homes. Right. And I'm pretty sure this came off as a shocking to the world, but this is something that's been speculating for years now. All right. We always knew, we heard rumors, but we never bought into it until, the people that are really involved actually spoke up about it. Right. Yeah. So with these entanglements, for me, how I feel about it, I don't care.
You don't care about what?
I don't care about Will and Jada's relationship. Whatever's going on in their home is whatever it goes on in there, right? Yeah. But it's what the media wants. It's what the media loves to hear, and it's what majority of us would love to hear too. Right? People love getting into people's business all the time. Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
The fact that Jada came out and, had the red table talk with Will, people were looking forward for that 13 minutes. Mm-hmm. Just the fact that the two people that were really involved here, they didn't really care about August. Right? No. August messed up. And I want to talk about August later on. But Will,
he can speak his truth.
Yeah, speak. I don't know. I don't know. He's messy.
Yeah.
But Will and Jada, the fact that it came, to their red table talk, to her red table talk and spoke it out, kind of clear some views for other people out there that was looking for their love. What do y'all think about this?
Go ahead,
Ray.
I think it's a situation where I do agree that is their relationship, right? And the grass is always greener on the other side, right? You don't really know like the facades people put up and what's really happening behind closed doors, right? So you can't really long for something that you really don't know the root of or what the real essence of it is. But also what I will say is, of course, with the inception of the Red Table Talk, their relationship has been more on front than typical, right? Because they have a platform to talk about it. So I could see, the investment of people because they have been talking about their relationship and their goals and how they view each other and things of that nature, and using that as content to promote and talk about on the table in general. So to have that to be popular, that means people have to be invested, right? So, and also, they brought themselves, she brought herself to the table, right? Nobody can actually force her down to the table at her house. So it's a situation where I also feel like they wanted to share and the people wanted to know as well. And from my personal perspective, like, I really don't care. It's really something that that type of entanglement, I think, is that's a rich person's problem, in the regard of me in my current state, like, and a lot of folks, we might not have a lot of assets. So when that entanglement happened, we could just depart, like we good. Like, all right, you did your thing. All right, I'm done. But in that kind of situation, there's probably so much assets and so much things involved that is like, maybe I should just love through this. You know, maybe we just gotta, and that probably involved in the situation of when they mentioned that like they were separated but still married. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's one of them situations where me as a bro person, I don't think I'll have them kind of problems. Those are not my problem.
Let's just acknowledge that they lied, man. They lied. Let me tell you why. Everyone's known for years that Will and Jada had an open marriage.
Thank you.
Like, everybody know they had an open marriage. You can see it clearly when he goes, I'm going to get you back. And she goes, you probably don't need to do that at all. Like, you've done enough of that, right? So this whole idea of, Will and Jada, we got to see what happened. And did they, was an entanglement. And no, there was no entanglement. There was no, there was no idea of infidelity. One of the people that they had given each other permission to step out on went and decided to go and air all their dirty laundry. And here they had to come in and clean it up. And so they did it. Rich people problems, right? And so Will Smith is looking at Jada like, Shorty, your dude wasn't quiet. Like, he's messy. Like, yo, what's up with this, man? Like, your dude wasn't like keeping his mouth shut and going agreeing with the whole deal in the first place. So now you got this whole thing that we got to talk about. Now we got this whole idea of a word, entanglement, and other people are saying, I'm also in an entanglement. No, I'm in an entanglement. You're a liar. They had an open relationship and an open marriage. True. So let's just be real about that.
G, what's good?
Yeah, I'm Tyreek. I'm glad you brought that point up. Like, this ain't nothing new. Like they've been in an open relationship for years. Like publicly for years. So it's probably been even longer than that. Me personally, I remember hearing rappers rap about Jada way too many times in rap songs talking about they've been there and done this and that for me to really even entertain it at this point. And that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't think it's anything new. I don't think it's, a surprise. It shouldn't be anyway. But it's their business. I'm focused on me and mine over here, and
yes,
that's
sir.
kind of how I feel like, if that's how I feel people should be in a relationship. And Rayvoughn, exactly what you said. It's rich people problems, exactly. That they got to kind of go behind, every like the mess that was already made and try to clean things up or add some sort of order to it to make it seem rational in the public eye. Right. Now imagine what they dealing with or feeling from a personal standpoint. They could be super happy or they could be feeling miserable, at the same time. But I feel like as a people, as a society, we forget that they're people too. And we can go into how social media plays a role in that, whenever, but that's a whole nother avenue. But they people too. And their relationship ain't all roses and peaches all the time. They just don't show you the downs, and with regard to entanglement, until it become a Facebook status, I'm good over here. So yeah, I'm not really entertaining their situation too much, but it's rich people problems.
Yeah, and I'll add this. I think one of my friends brought up the concept of love when it came to their marriage, right? Mm-hmm. And one of the things that they said, a lot of people talk about a lot of people are bringing attention to the we ride together, we die together, bad marriage for life, right? And some people are like, yo, what are you doing? What are you advertising? What are you allowing to be the dominating narrative of what you're promoting because you have so much you have such a platform. Like, why are you advertising this? Like, what's going on? And so here we go with this aspect. But then my other friend actually brought up, one of my brothers, Jamel, he brought up in conversation the concept of love. When Will is saying that, remember when I said to you when we first got married that I'll love you through anything. And she was like, I didn't think you could. And then Will said, well, this, that, and the third, and they're talking. But then at the end of the conversation, they're talking about how much he loves her and their love and all the stuff that they've grown together. Mm-hmm. And then Will goes, well, I'm going to get you back. Right? What's your concept of love when you think that when someone does something wrong to me, my natural reaction is I love you, but I'm going to get you back still. And you're honestly saying that. Like, you're genuinely saying that. I'm going to get you back. is that really love? And if you believe that's love, if they believe that's love, what's your concept of love? Because to me, love is not the equivalent of payback. Love is the equivalent of forgiveness, not retribution, right? And so how that was something that to me was problematic, because I think what Will and Jada's platform did, it was also not just reveal what was in their marriage, but it revealed what it revealed what's in the what's in the concept of it revealed what's in the concept of marriage in the life of people in general.
Yeah. I don't want to go off on a tangent here, but do y'all think that wealth is a new type of race?
Wealth is a new type of race?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question right there.
The
He said new type.
is listen, not a new type, but is wealth a race? Because that's something that you got to think about. Because think about wealthy black folks. Don't you think that they feel better than? They think that they're better than the regular black folk. When I mean regular black folk, that means middle class, working class.
Man, poor white people think they're better than us.
Yeah. So what do you?
Yeah,
So
I'm
what do
about
you,
to say
so
what
do
you
you
talking
think?
about is sound like classism. You know what I'm saying? I think people the haves always think or feel better than that, quote unquote, the have-nots. You know, so I think when people have something, you know, they're afraid of losing it, and everybody wants a piece of power and something to make them stand out from the masses and whoever in their own world. So people naturally sometimes gravitate to that type of to create a hierarchy, right? Because if you think about it, if everything we say is like a social construct, that means like we the people had to create that at some point, right? So is that natural in us to now create that kind of hierarchy in that regard? You know, that's something we have to find out. But we recognize that majority of us adhere to that particular thing, and I do think it's like it's definitely a power thing.
Definitely, man. Geno, what you think, bro?
I think it's a combination of everything y'all said, but in addition to that, I think it comes down to how you was raised, and like what resonates with the experiences you've been through personally. I think that really is what determines people and how they act towards other people. I know rich people who treat the janitor the same way as they treat somebody else with money, and then I know people who try to act like they're above everyone else. But I think it's really just some of your experiences at the end of the day. Because I mean, even if you look at Will and Jada, they've been stars since they've been kids. You know what I mean? So like I feel like that's just the way their minds work. They've always been in Hollywood. You know, they've always like been in that setting. They've always been talking to the people who are the best at putting on the fronts, who are the ones putting out in the media the propaganda and the things that they want us to believe to keep control over us. Now, I'm not saying I don't know them. You feel me? So I'm not saying it's them, but that's what I think. I think it's just some of your experiences as a person, you know, and how you was raised.
Yeah,
really.
It is powerful, man. One more question before we dive in. Why do we feel like we should look up to celebrities?
I personally, I just had this conversation with my girlfriend last night. Like, I don't think we should.
A lot of people are doing it.
Like it triggers me.
Our society is built upon. He said a lot of people do. It's like it is the reality TV down to the foundation of what people watch. You know, it's. I was talking to people about it, and I was just like, I didn't know how to phrase it, so I was like celebrityism, but I was like, you know, in America, I was like, it's big. Like celebrities are like, think about it, like, you know, our president's celebrity, right, or an ex-celebrity now at this point. Right. But you recognize that people really look up, and it's like maybe seeing an opportunity to potentially have something that you might not have, or see a glimpse into a life that you might not be glimpsing into, and it's weird. You know, I think it's very weird in general how much stock we put into celebrities. And now in this day and age with social media, right? anybody could be a celebrity. You know, anybody could be a celebrity. You could be unknown yesterday, and today you got 1 million followers, and now all of a sudden, you know, people are now putting like their hopes and dreams into you, and it's like we don't know this person. You know, you don't know this person at all.
I don't care about them. I genuinely don't. Like in the sense of because I see so many people kind of base their lives off of what celebrities might do or what they're saying and what type of wedding they had or where they went for vacation or where they sit their kids or the outfit that they wore and the shoes. They wore Uggs in the summertime. So now everyone wants to wear Uggs in the summertime. Or they wore a scarf and they wore a scarf around their neck tied twice. So now we got to wear a scarf around our neck. Oh, they also get a chai latte from Starbucks. So I got to get the same thing. I don't care.
Like, why should I care?
Like, I genuinely don't. And I say that because it's so embedded in the fiber and the fabric of our society that people really decide life decisions off of what they saw Steph and Aisha Curry doing. If you come around me with that, I'm going to tell you to get out of my face. And it's not because I don't like them. It's because their life is their life. And I don't see them as like, I'm an influencer. I don't need them to influence me. I'm good. Right?
I'm influenced enough.
What are they making decisions in their life based on what Tyreek Richard-Lang did? If not, tell them to step to the side, right? Because at the end of the day, it's not going to faze me.
I wonder if people see being a celebrity as like the fast track to being rich, right? So if you're not like running a business, if you're not creating anything, you're like, oh, how do I get and obtain this kind of life that I want? And being a celebrity is something that a lot of people could do because, you know, we all have our own talents. So a lot of people have the ability to tap into that.
Yep, exactly. What you think, G?
It's the if-then mentality, man. That's where we living in right now. If this person has this, but they posting this, and it seems like that they doing this every day, then that must be me too. If I do those things, you know, like people are like that's the standard. As humans, like I don't know why people aren't more confident in just being themselves and then focusing on themselves. And I feel like, you know, celebrities give the impression that they don't have problems. Right. You know, they don't, like, their life is perfect, all peaches and roses. Right. As, you know, as coming from the places that we come from, like, we know that ain't the truth. Like, I'm happy with the problems I had. You know, if I was dealing with somebody else's problems, you know, that's like I don't want to deal with those problems, you know? Like, even if, let's say somebody has $100 million in the bank or $1 billion in the bank, like, they probably have family issues. They probably have Will and Jada issues. They probably have everything else wrong with their life. Oh, but they got money, though, you know? And like, that right there, to me, is not true wealth. And, you know, as... You know, I think people just, that's the closest thing to them. And it gives a false sense of success. It gives a false sense of security. And rather than actually aiming for true happiness or true success, people think, oh, I need to do this to post an Instagram picture and a couple of likes are going to make me seem like I'm doing these things. When it's the complete opposite. It's actually holding you back. It's actually a huge distraction.
Yeah, that's correct. For when it started for me by seeing, Black folks on commercials, like the Bounty commercials, how, the family looks so happy. Meanwhile, my fucking family's in turmoil. I'm like, yo, things ain't peachy in reality. But what they portray to be on TV is that, there's that's how the Black family is. Like, you spill a drink on the countertop. Oh, it's all smiles and shit. Let me just get the bounty, wipe it off the countertop, and everything's set. No, that wasn't happening in my house. So I was getting my ass whooped.
Well, I got stains from 94.
Exactly. So, I'm with Ty. I'm with y'all, man. I don't care about any celebrities, man. They're not putting money in my pocket.
They're taking money from my pocket.
Exactly.
So what we gonna do with that, man? What we gonna do with that,
man? And it's a great lead to what you guys are doing. I'm talking to G and Ray, man. Great segue into what's up.
I want to before we segue into that, I wanted to take a second, just at least couple minutes, because we didn't acknowledge the whole conversation with 50 Cent, right? and how that was something that is influencing us in society, right? How that's that conversation that 50 Cent had
with Lil Wayne
on his show,
set up,
right?
Yeah.
This conversation that they had did what? It influenced an entire it influenced so many people thinking about this is how black men view black women. And so what I'm starting to see is a trend, right? I'm starting to see this trend that is attempting to bring division between black men and black women, especially with black women in America and black men in America. And I'm starting to see this it's settled. It's very settled, where it's this idea of we're dividing everything now. Before it was Black Lives Matter. Now it's black women lives matter. Black men lives matter.
Black trans
lives matter. Black trans women lives matter. Black trans man's lives matter. Black black people with disabilities lives matter. Like, it's the idea of Black Lives Matter is being now deciphered into different sections. And what is that doing? Yes, it's also bringing awareness to some of the injustices that each demographic and each person who identifies as black that has a different identity marker and intersection face. But it's also creating sex where now we're so divided that you're starting to hear these terms of the greatest threat to black women are black men.
Disagree with that.
And I'm like, how the hell did we get here? Right? Where we're looking at what's happening in society, and then you hear 50 Cent says this, and then boom, it's huge, right? And do like I said in my video, and for those of you who are watching, we've been having conversations about it. 50 Cent does not speak for all black men. 50 Cent does not speak for me. He speaks for Mark, but he doesn't speak for me. He doesn't speak for Mark. He doesn't speak for Ray. He doesn't speak for Geno. And I say this because, I've been getting phone calls. I've been getting text messages. My brother called me today. We had a long, good conversation about this because my brother is like, he's telling me his experience, right? And so I think everyone in their own right has experiences. Everyone in their own right has what they like, what they don't like. Now, this is what I condemn what 50 Cent did say. And I didn't say this in my video specifically, but the way he referred to women of black women as motherfuckers and get out of here, you killing the vibe.
That's where he messed. That's where he messed
the
with.
Mess up.
That's where he fucked up.
However, the fact that he said I'm attracted to this does not mean that any other woman is not, or any other woman is not attractive. However, also let's acknowledge this point, right? This is what I also think people miss. That 50 Cent, and I think at times to some people, every woman, no matter based on your demographic, every woman to someone is exotic, right? Every woman to someone is exotic. So you go to certain parts of the Caribbean, and certain types of women who look a certain way may be exotic. You go to Cuba. Black women might be considered exotic. Or you go to certain regions in Africa, and women who are thick and full and curvy, they're considered exotic. You go to certain parts of Europe, women who are slim and things that whatever. Someone's considered desirable somewhere, right? And I think that what 50 Cent is making is he's acknowledging what he's attracted to. And that's what it is. And just because he's attracted to that doesn't mean that he's not attracted to anything else. So like, I have personally experienced women who are dating a black man who might be dating a white woman or a Latino woman or an Asian woman and experience disdain from some of our black sisters. I've witnessed it with my own eyes. I've witnessed it. I have friends who will tell me, I wish you would marry someone white. I wish you would marry a white woman, Tyree.
We all have that one friend that don't want us to do that.
I would say
and guess what? Am I going to be like, she's an angry woman? No. But she would not appreciate that because one, she sees the value in me as a black man, as a king, and I see the value in her as a woman, right? As a black queen. So, but this is the issue. That these are the things that are happening. 50 Cent gave his experience. He didn't make he didn't make those interactions up.
It's 50.
He gave those, and there are tons of people who can go, I identify with that. I've had that same experience too. Right. So are they wrong for voicing that? I don't think so. No. What I do think he's wrong for is how he referred to black women. That is absolutely I disagree.
And Geno, I'm not sure if you remember when back when we were in college, I'm pretty sure when people would forward, like when Twitter was live, like Twitter was lit probably in the year 2010, 2014, 2015. Twitter's still lit. 2016, right? And there was a moment that, people would tweet these outrageous things about our women and based off features, right? In that video, I was looking to see where 50 Cent dumbed our women down on their looks. Because when I watched, there was another woman that gave her point based on 50 Cent's video, but I forgot that young woman's name. But she stated something that, it's, I'm all about who you prefer. I'm all about your preference, but just don't bring us down. Like, don't like fuel off of, black women's energy, right? And then she started talking about looks. And then I looked at the video. I'm like, okay, maybe the story would have went different if 50 Cent reworded by saying, I've encountered some black women that didn't like the fact that I was into exotic women. The story would have went different.
But what's considered exotic? Is the question.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
And I said that we need to revisit the word exotic. What does exotic mean? If we looked on Google, it is something that is foreign or different. So black is different, right? You could be black and foreign. And it's crazy. And
they try it every day.
Listen.
This room's exotic to me.
Exactly. The color black is exotic. What I was looking for the video, I'm like, there's no way in the video where 50 Cent actually, dumbed our women down on their looks. The phrase that you said, angry black motherfuckers, that's where he messed up at. Yeah. You can't generalize women like that. And I totally agree. You cannot generalize women in that form.
Also, let's acknowledge this, right? He also said his natural go-to feeling, like his natural response at times is to get defensive, get out of here. He's acknowledging, one, he's being emotionally aware. He's being emotionally aware of his natural defensive reaction. We didn't see the rest of it and what else he said of what he now thinks. He said, my natural reaction is like, get out of here.
And you should also think about how he's approached. Like, how are these questions being approached to him? Like, and he said women will walk up to him and say, oh, why the fuck are you dating like this type of woman? Like, if you're approaching me in that type of way, I'm not thinking that you're coming from a good heart. If you're asking me, why the fuck are you into this woman? Like, are you telling me that you're coming from a good heart?
What do we need to do, y'all? I think for one, just so y'all know, we're doing a whole podcast on it, like a whole episode on this soon. And we're going to have some women on here. Y'all, if y'all interested, y'all hit us up. Y'all ladies, y'all hit us up. We're going to get it out there because, and go check out Davina's take. Our manager, she definitely did an amazing background take
she did
on
a better job than you, bro.
This is who?
Big notes.
She did a better
Big
job
notes.
than who, me? Yeah. She did, first of all,
notes.
Let me acknowledge the spin on this. Davina is she like the fact that she cheated. She cheated. Let me tell you why.
Oh, because you better give Davina her credit.
No, she cheated because this is what she did. I had nothing to speak on. I was like, whatever. Mark is saying what he's saying. Like, cool. Davina called me up, pressured me. I'm at the doctor's office. You have to do a video now. I'm like, for what? Because you need to respond. I'm like, all right, so we watched some stuff like, here and there. and I say my 2 piece. I got home, I said my 2 piece, I put the video up, and the video was like, great.
So she plotted.
I woke up the next morning, Davina was attacking me on the page. I'm like, yo. Then the next day, she's telling me, oh, I'm taking notes on everything you said. I'm like, what? Okay, cool. Then she puts up her video. It's 12 minutes long. Mine's was only 4. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like,
big notes.
You came heavy. She came with like a dissertation. She came with I was like, yo, I see what happened. Then this morning I wake up and it goes, whose video did you like more? Tyreek's or the video? I'm like, yo,
She definitely planned that.
What is happening?
Oh, so you didn't curate that social media experience? That wasn't you?
Yo, when I say
planned that.
she produced this whole scam, like it was like a whole setup of me getting like systematically destroyed. Like, look at Tyreek, chauvinistic, sexist, and look at me. See, you even see me in a video. I'm like, scream. She even pointed it at the right point. I'm like, oh, you really did this.
But
you
she definitely did a great job in that video.
She did okay.
I think I like that though.
No, yeah.
I think Geno liked hers and not yours, bro.
Gino, you didn't like mine?
I think I dropped a like on hers, bro.
Wow.
But it just popped up on my popular pages though. So
Because she promoted hers. See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? I was trying to think. I was literally I'm so competitive. I'm looking at her video like, how many views? How she got 400? She got 400 views and I got 576. Let me start sharing.
and because it's a deep video, people really watching. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's just 12 minutes. It's too long for me.
I watched the entire 12.
Yeah, I watched the entire 12. I wanted to see the
Where's
points.
your video, Mark?
I responded on my stories.
Y'all see this nonsense?
I responded on the stories. People know that they were responding to me on stories.
Davina said, because Geno's a real one. Davina, you
that's my dog.
You really,
Yes,
you
sir.
really created this whole environment. However, the person who started it was Mark.
Yeah, I'm here.
And
I'm here.
Mark didn't even answer.
I did answer. I answered most of the questions, if not all.
Y'all, I just want y'all to know Mark is definitely like hiding. So y'all
I
can
am
call
not.
him out.
The people that communicate with me, they know that. I've been keeping in contact.
No, people were communicating with you and they were hitting me up like, what's wrong with your friend Mark? He's an idiot.
Well, no. Here's the thing. I don't like those people.
I don't think they like you.
You want to know why? They need to hit me up.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a couple of people that I saw them. That was having DMs and they was going. And I was like, ooh. Because I kept looking at my phone. I was like, why am I getting so many DMs from Ghetto Profits? And I'm looking. I'm like, ooh, they going in on Mark. I'm like, ooh. I was like, ooh.
He's like, let me drop my video being neutral right now.
Davina's like, you need to get in on it. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Listen.
Mark is having his.
I was going in. Listen, I had to go in. It was a perfect time.
Mark needs to do a video. Exactly.
Who said that?
Davina. The people are calling for you to do a video, bro.
Davina don't know anything.
Davina.
Yo, D, you know it's all love, but I ain't making a video, baby. You know that for sure. Yo, but nah, man. Let's come back to this though. Now we need to revisit on why we brought our two young kings onto the GPs. You know, they got a startup company that I want them to introduce. I think Geno mentioned it, that they run a company called Shtudy. I'm not going to say more about it. I'll give them the stage on it. Geno or Ray, when you start, tell us a little bit more about Shtudy, man.
Yeah, sure thing. So, what we do, like I mentioned earlier, everything we do is to empower Black, Latinx, and Native American folks. There's enough wealth at these large corporations. There's enough wealth at tech companies. We deserve opportunities. We have more than enough talent in our communities as a whole.
Exactly.
The issue is that we don't have an adequate platform to effectively showcase our skills and talents to these employers. So what we do is we help tech talent, data scientists, data analysts, machine learning folks,
Front-end, back-end
developers, back-end developers, full stack, all of these tech realms. Anyone who's interested in coding and from an underrepresented community and is a Black, Latinx, or Native American person, we help you get tech jobs. And that's exactly what we do. That's the mission we stand by. This is something we've committed our entire life to for the last 10 years since college, since I met Mark.
Yes, sir.
Fortunately, better or worse, since I met Mark. So
Yeah.
yeah, and that's really what we stand by. And again, everything here is to empower us and bridge the racial wealth gap in America. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we stand by.
So, what was the whole like? Who came up with the idea? Like, hey, matter of fact, I want to start off. What's up with the name Shtudy? Why was like that? That was so catchy to me. It's hard. It's hard for me to still pronounce to this day. But yeah, man, who came up with the name? Because that's a fancy ass name. So, what's up with that?
Yeah, so study, it's been a long journey,
Yes.
to say the least. And, we started by the approach we took was we want to educate ourselves first. And Rayvoughn can attest to it. He's a developer himself. He's doing really, really well in his career, but how old are you, Rayvoughn? 25?
Almost 26. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, and he's leading pretty much his entire department at his organization. So, I was seeing people like Rayvoughn go through college and finish at the top of their class and so on and so forth. But he was still, it was still a hard transition for him to actually get a job and move into the professional workplace. So I knew there was a huge disconnect. So that's really where I approached Rayvoughn, and he jumped on board. We've been working on this for a while, and we took a trip to Silicon Valley. We were out there just conducting research, talking to hundreds of companies and recruiters and candidates, just trying to figure out where the issue was coming from. And, that's kind of how things started. With regard to the name itself, it started actually as a college prep platform, hence the study part of it. We realized that, we built the college prep platform, but it still wasn't getting people jobs. Right. So the way we looked at it is like study, like study. Like it's you can study and still not have an opportunity. So we thought it was pretty cool. I was actually eating soup when I said it too, so it kind of sounded a little fun. So, but yeah, that's kind of how the name came about and how it stuck. And of course, a lot of white people don't like it. A lot of white people do too, but a lot of white people don't. Right. And that's what we thrive off of, man. It's for us. It's for our people.
Now, what does a good week for Shtudy look like?
Who's a good week?
Shtudy. How does a good week look like?
Go ahead,
for
Ray.
Shtudy?
A good week for Shtudy. Well, a good week for us would look like, I'll just put it like a good week for us would look like, folks in these communities that we're serving, signing up to the platform. What also a good week looks like is that we're placing all these people in jobs and getting them careers. The whole pipeline for us, what we recognize is, as Geno mentioned, we've been going at this since probably around end of 2017 or something along that lines. And for us, a good week would literally be the end result of placing people in their dream careers and getting them opportunities. And especially considering the fact that, Shtudy's free. And being that it's free, it's actually a big opportunity to come on. It's like a why not. There's a lot of places out there that don't necessarily cater to you directly and actually give you that personal experience and train you and screen you along the lines and give you a tangible experience for actual industry folks who know what they're talking about and give that all to you for free and provide the company connections and and help you with the salary negotiations and all the things of that nature to where, when you're coming out of college, unless your school has a good, college to work program in there, a good career services department to get you that, a lot of times you kind of fall by the wayside, Right. So for us, a good week is literally the end result of getting people where they want to be. And if that keep happening every day for us, we'll be happy.
Okay. Now for me, when I graduated fresh out of school, I was more into like, temp agencies, right? So why didn't you guys start off as a temp agency instead of like a full out, like this, like you guys really just get a lot of people to sign up and then you guys go through the process of placing people in jobs, right? Where temp agencies are, they place someone at the job of their desires and temporary, they work for like a month and check to see if they end up getting full-time employment. So why did you guys didn't go the temp agency
route? Because you went to a 4-year university, right? You got your degree. you deserve you should be deserve an opportunity to gain full-time employment like everybody else, and especially considering the fact that in the tech industry, the average salary is well over 100K, right? I don't want temporary benefits. So from our side, we want to place people in. Now we want to, but we are placing people in full-time positions, and we didn't want to make it temporary. And we also wanted to, like we said, it's not just a matter of like, okay, getting you to where you want to be, but it's also the whole experience, as well as providing services after they get placed, as well as services on the way to them getting placed to where they want to go, and not just like, okay, you're placed and that's the end of that. We want to really cultivate an experience that doesn't really exist in the fact that that if you have any career needs, Shtudy is there for you. Whether you're in the beginning of your career or whether you're in the middle or whether you're coming at the end, whether you're in a career crisis and you're saying like, oh, I want to switch or do anything, we're there for that particular purpose. And like I said, like Geno mentioned, specifically service, Black, Latinx, and Native American folks. And it's really because of the underrepresentation in the space.
Right. That's lovely, man. Now tell
And
me, go ahead, G.
No, I was going to say quickly, we even started as a temp agency, and we were placing the temp agency model, I'll say, by placing people exclusively for free. Because again, like there's not enough opportunities for us because these employers, they go to the top universities, the Harvards, the Yales, the Princetons, and they just cast a wide net. And you could think of sort of like open, like deep sea fishing. You could put a wide net out there and try to shake the water and all that out the net in hopes of catching one fish that looks a little different than the rest of them, and that's the exact same approach that they took to it. So the way we looked at it is, well, what if there was a pool? What if there was a platform that all of these people could sign up, whether they're coming from coding boot camps, a 4-year university, any sort of training background, and we could be that source of credibility for them. They don't have to deal with, the hurdles of, oh, is my resume good enough? Or, oh, I applied to one company or even 100 companies and I'm tired of rejection. Okay, that's a huge, huge issue, So we actually started like that exclusively just to help people. And we felt like this was just a way to help more people by turning it into a tech platform. So
Nice.
Yeah, and I love this path that you're taking, bro, and you too, right? Because we went to this PWI in New Hampshire, which really there's only 3% of us on campus. So the fact that you guys started this in New Hampshire, and you guys are trying to expand out is a lovely thing. Now tell the folks the process for them, that if they want to sign up for Shtudy, tell them the process like until they're possibly placed into a full-time gig. Either you or Ray, you guys could take over.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'll walk you through your experience from a web perspective. Whatever you get on your computer, your phone, whatever device you like to use to surf the internet these days, you go right to www.shtudy.co, shtudy.co, and then you go to sign up. From there on, you could learn about the company and see what we're about as well. But from there on, you go to sign up, and we you then choose like a career path that you desire. So whether based upon the skill set that you have, so whether you're looking to be a full stack or a front end, back end, a data analyst, or things of that nature, you choose that career path. From then on, we present you with an entry exam or quiz of that nature. This is really just the vetting process which is very typical from a technical coding perspective. And that's just to verify the skills in that nature, which is a lot of time the biggest hurdle in recruitment, in getting to the next stage, is the verification of the skills. So we end up doing that. And then from that point on, once you pass that, which we know you will, once you pass that, we then take you to what we like to call nailing the interview. It's a video series that we have in which we created it with one of our advisors, Crystal, and she's a career strategist and as well as a longtime career advisor on a lot of fronts, from schools to companies, and creating that content to then basically walk you through what it's like for the interview, what types of interviews, the questions, for your nerves, all how to manage rejections, how to negotiate, literally just walk you through and give you the confidence and training that's needed. Once that happens, we then move on to a mock interview, right? In which we then have you basically showcase those particular skills to then make sure that you're ready for when a company does call, when a company does reach out and connect to you, that you feel confident that you could, nail the interview.
Right.
So once that part happens, once you pass the mock interview, now you could go back to the page and add more skills and more badges along that nature, which is essentially like, if you know other technologies and you want to showcase that, you could quiz against that as well to show to tech recruiters that, like, what you're saying is stamped, and that's really the thing about it is it allows your credentials to be put right there, and also, from that endpoint, you then make it on down. And then what's different about Shtudy is typically you have a job board, and you apply, you find the job, and you kind of apply, and it kind of gets lost in that shuffle. But with our platform, they reach out to you, so there's no need for unnecessary rejection. By the time once you hear from a company, it's because they wanted to talk to you, and not because you have to just send a bunch of feelers out of that regard. So as Geno mentioned about the rejection stuff, it eliminates that necessary rejection. Once you're speaking to a company, the confidence is different because they reached out to you. It's not do they actually want to talk to me? Are they just taking this meeting just because kind of situation? It's because they wanted that to happen. From that point on, it's just like an intro phone call, and then they keep moving through the company's process and the study process all the way up until they're hired. And from there, the negotiations and all that stuff happens in the platform. And while the company is searching on you, we like to keep everything. We try to limit as much as implicit bias as possible.
Right.
So, your name and identifying information and what you look like wouldn't be displayed to them until you want that particular company to know who you are. So that way you don't have to worry about people prejudging you. It's really them looking at your skills and what you have on there to determine if that's the fit before they end up reaching out. So once that happens, we want to really create a space to where the cream is rising to the top and people aren't getting held back by factors they can't control, such as, name, race, gender, things that they, whatever they identify as, that things that they can't control, and that they shouldn't be judged for those things. So we try to eliminate those type of biases, and that would be the full breath in the pipeline coming down.
Release of anxiety right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much, man. Now, what are some of the big time companies that you guys work with right now? Just name a few, not all. Just name a few so you get people excited.
Yeah, so we have partners that we're definitely speaking to right now who are looking for talent. We have a couple friends over at Google that we speak to pretty on a consistent basis, and a couple startups here and there too. It's a couple really cool startups, high growth startups that are looking for plenty of tech talent. And actually, right here, I'm in the office now in New Hampshire in Spark offices, and someone right across the street from me, they launched a startup. It's called Army with an I, and they're super excited. But the biggest thing is we only work with companies who are looking to improve diversity and inclusion and equity in the space.
Exactly.
I don't care if they have $100 billion. If they ain't on the same page as us, we won't hesitate to turn the other way. And especially with everything going on right now with COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter, we ain't making no errors. We ain't making no errors with regard to the people we deal with. So
Exactly.
that's a bit about the type of companies we deal with, type of companies we speaking to currently. It's just really about a healthy, cultivating workplace for the candidates that we place. This is a career platform, not a job placement platform. We want to make sure your life accelerates.
Exactly.
So.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that's the point that so many people often miss. I think that a lot of us at times are just kind of people just excited to get jobs, right? And so but that also goes to the injustices of when you're coming out of college and you can't even find a career.
Yep.
Because you're being told you don't have enough experience, or
GPA's low.
Yeah, your GPA is low. I mean, I never experienced a job that told me my GPA was low, so they wouldn't hire me. However, that's another issue, right? And so because you got people that GPAs are maybe low because they were working and going to school at the same time.
Life
happened, you know. Like my GPA was, I think I graduated with 2.96, and that wasn't 3.0, right? But that didn't reveal the last 5 semesters that I had over a 3.6, right? Because my first 3 semesters in in undergrad. It was horrible. I basically failed out. So I had to recover from all of that, and it took so long, like to getting up.
It's hard.
You know, it's
You got to be hitting 3.8s to get that. Like.
But you know, I had to have like a 3.89 one semester, like a 3.65, a 3.45. Like it was just hard. I'm like, golly, you know. But you know, I think the idea of really thinking about not just job placement, but career placement, career development, growth, but also specifically partnering with organizations and companies that are willing to do the work and are showing that here's my plan, right? Because you have a lot of colleges and a lot of institutions and a lot of organizations and companies that are saying we're making this push to increase the diversity, the amount of people of color we have in our system, in our school. Yeah. But they're not making a push to actually make sure that the environment that these people of color and black people that are coming into is actually conducive and safe emotionally for them. So you have a whole bunch of people. Right. You have institutions that are increasing. Harvard, Yale. We're going to say these names of these institutions that are saying we're going to make a push for more black people to come into our institution. However, the culture does nothing but serve and protect white privilege and systemic racism, and the way that it continues to prevail and continues to oppress is the student body. So why would more black people want to go there if you're not willing to do the work? And so the fact that y'all are vetting companies and actually looking into companies and making sure that they have this pre-work being done is outstanding and admirable.
Yeah, man. What are some obstacles that Shtudy has faced so far?
From a company standpoint or from a candidate standpoint?
Company standpoint.
Well, right now it's figuring out who's genuine. You know, that's really what it comes down to. Because I mean, with the current climate we're in, again, it's a huge opportunity for a lot of money-hungry opportunists to come in and try to, you know, swindle however they want to try to swindle. But thank goodness, like we from the hood, you know, so we grew up around that stuff, you know, so we know how to read people's body language and their ingenuity towards approaching us. That's definitely one of the largest obstacles that we're facing right now and have been facing is just working with people who truly care about this issue and working with people who are actually proving it. Like there's a lot of talk, but if you look at people's executive boards and seeing who their C-level folks are, their CEOs and CTOs or CXOs, whoever it may be, if there ain't too many people of color up there, we kind of, you know, we look the other way. You know, we start kind of drifting away from that. So it's really just being able to see through those things.
Yeah, exactly. And as, you know, two founders of color, it's very important. It's very important to us. We don't want to just place people in any places. And by the end of the day, like, you know, we don't have any control over where you go. You know, we provide companies to the platform, and it's really up to you to where you're going to choose to go. So so being that from our perspective, we want to, you know, if the companies are going to, you know, vet you, we want to vet them too, you know, for you as well, to make sure that everybody you're interacting with is positive.
Yeah.
You need to stop distracting me, bro. Fuck.
How? You the one that you can't focus, bro.
You over here giving me hand signals. Same baseball, bro.
Yeah, crazy.
After 7 months, Negro, you need to understand what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
But now, to continue, now, Ray, I want to add on to what you just said, just by asking you another question. You working in the tech industry.
Yeah.
How does it feel? Like, how are you treated as an African American?
That's a really good question. I think, one, I'm definitely not the majority in the space, right? So it's like, you know, typically when you're like in school or something, and people might sometimes expect you to speak for the majority or have the opinions of the majority, but it's like, you know, the elevated adult version of that, where like now there's like HR involved, so like you have to tiptoe around the thing that you say, right? So it's not like as, you know, direct. But I feel like it depends on where the spaces and where you go. Generally speaking, I do feel like for me, I try to let like my talents and my skills speak for themselves as well. I also, in those spaces, I basically try to make it a point to speak up for myself, because I do recognize that if I'm not speaking up for myself, somebody else like probably won't.
Right.
So that's also like a big thing for me when I'm in those spaces, is like just literally advocating for myself, because I've seen, instances where people don't do that and they kind of get fall by the wayside, and it's a and sometimes people don't feel like they can because of tropes that might get thrown upon them, saying like, oh, well, you're this person now, by now just having an opinion and voicing yourself, So for me, it's always a balance of trying to, stay as authentic of yourself as possible, while also navigating, that particular like space, But I would say overall, nobody's ever been like in my professional life blatantly racist or disrespectful towards me, because these two paws is active, so that's never happened. But people definitely do have their sly and subtle ways, and being vocal, I definitely make it a point to kind of call that stuff out when that do happen in those regards, because you let it slide here, might let it slide some other place else.
And even sometimes with racism, you what type of microaggressions have you experienced in the tech industry towards you as a?
Well, the
Or
mic.
have you experienced any? Because you could say.
No. With the I've been in the tech industry for at least 6 years, 7 years or so, and it could range from people just automatic, like we both got the same job title, but you somehow assume that like there's no way I'll be able to know what this is already. You know what I'm saying? With like little things, be like, why would you think that? Like, I'm here, you here, like you know what I'm saying? Like, I know this better than you do, and then so sometimes it could take an attack in a form of intellectual knowledge, like what do you know, what the person think you may or may not know because of what you may or may look like and where you come from, and that right there to me is probably like probably like the biggest slap. Like, yeah. I stand on my intellect, so whenever I feel like that's being questioned, I'm always ready to defend that, and to the end, to be like, I know what I'm talking about. Right. I know what I'm talking about. What are you talking about? and that comes back in advocating yourself, being confident, because there are times where people are like blatantly wrong, but in those spaces you just like people like shrink sometimes because they just don't want to, and I'm like, no, let me stand up for myself, because this person's going to walk away with the experience thinking that they was right. And then they're going to really walk away with this experience, and they might perpetuate this idea onto somebody else.
Now, what's the aftermath after you stand up and speak out? Do you, how are you approached afterwards? Like, because I'm pretty sure there's been moments where you actually have to spoke out because you question, like, hey, this is the perfect time for me to, say what I have to say. Yeah. Now, I know when you're speaking, you analyze the room to see, reactions. And, so how are you received after you speak your thoughts?
Good question.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Rayvoughn, I want to know.
That's it. Like, what's going down? It's like, and I think there was definitely one time, in a previous work experience where, I had like said my thoughts and I just never showed up again. I was like, yeah, that's how I resigned. You know what I'm saying? Just, this is that. You ain't never see me again. And there are times where, so in that instance, I don't know how I was perceived, because I never got to check back in on them folks to see in the room temperature. But there are instances where, it didn't quite elevate to that level, but things had to be checked. And there's always this tension in the room, in that regard. But honestly, I'm the kind of person where like something happened and I address that and I'm back to myself. I don't really like try to carry that over in how I feel in that moment. Like, I said my piece, like, so anyway, so what were you saying? What were you saying?
I carry it, man. I'd be mad for it.
It's too much. Yeah, it'd be so much energy that like once I already said like I would carry it if I didn't say my piece, because now I'm brewing over it. Like, man, I should have said, then I'm carrying it. But once I say what I had to say in my mind, like, it was done. Like,
better than me, because I be getting in my car like, yo, I should have said this. I should have cursed them. I would have been like, and then the rap, right?
Every point.
So that's real, bro.
Yeah.
I just real quick, just to acknowledge, like, when it comes to like the way that we get to operate as Black people within our spaces, often where these spaces are white dominated, it's our passion is often misinterpreted for anger.
All the time.
Our advocacy is misinterpreted for victimhood, right? It's like where, and so finding you being in those spaces, because I grew up in those spaces, right? I grew up playing lacrosse.
Me too.
I grew up in the space of playing lacrosse and traveling and being part of like one of the only black kids going to Rhode Island, going to New Hampshire, going to Vermont for camps and all that, for Maryland's and stuff like that. I've been called the N-word, right? I've had these experiences. Working in predominantly white organizations, going to being in predominantly white Christian organizations, working and stuff. And so there's a line that you feel there's a tension there where you feel like I got to say this in a certain way because in a sense I'm representing in some people's eyes the entire race.
Yeah.
And it's so overwhelming and tiring,
unfair,
and annoying. And so you being in the tech industry, and we know we're aware of the digital divide. How do you like? I'm just interested in how that like. What other forms of pipelines can we create to get more people of color, more black people in there? Because that doesn't just close the digital divide. That closes the wealth gap.
Exactly.
So what do we like? What do we do? What else do we need to do?
I can say my piece and Geno could add. Well, one, what's already happening is that we're moving to a more and more tech-based society. Yeah. Tech is getting into the hands of kids at a younger age, right? And the numbers are showing that more people of color are taking AP computer sciences and things of that nature in high school, right? So and as well as people of color are already earning about 25% of STEM computer science degrees that were coming out anyway. So it's a matter of people are already they learning. We're here in the space. It's really a matter of more the end of the pipeline being fixed.
Right.
And because what we realize is more and more people are getting into tech anyway. So that portion exists. And as well as of course creating more infrastructure in communities to promote coding, to promote to promote coding and to promote that kind of tech thought.
It's confusing, right? My bad, bro. So here messing up the flow.
Yeah,
man.
To promote these kind of things. So I think that from our end is really making sure that hey, if 25% of all computer science degrees are held by people of color, but yet they only hold about 9% of the jobs. Like, well, what if we just get that 25%? If that 25% is going to keep growing anyway, so if we can start getting closer to the numbers, to the actuality, we will start getting true representation in the places to then, I think, to feedback. Because once you have this position and you're working this job, you now have more capital than you probably ever had before. Yeah. You could do more stuff with it now, and you could, yeah.
Yeah, no, I was saying quickly, and that's the exact disconnect is there. People are everything's going online now. Everyone's working remotely now, so that means even whether or not you thought you was doing tech, you probably doing tech,
Yeah.
And now it's to the point where people are going to have to get caught up to speed a lot faster. It's safe to say that people who come from communities who aren't underrepresented, privileged communities, they've had the tools in their toolbox that they need to have their resumes looking good, to dress up their LinkedIn profiles the right way to appeal effectively to employers. They have daddy and mommy businesses to fall back on if things don't go well. They can take those leaps forward. They've been had those things. With black folks, if you post a LinkedIn picture, a lot of times employers turn the other way just because of the way you look. So like what we really have to do is put the resources in the hands of the communities. People just need to, and it starts at the top. I look at this as a multi-pronged issue. We need the protesters to spread awareness just as much as we need the people at the top of the food chain. I don't even want to really call it a food chain, but that people at the top of the totem pole to be able to feed those resources down the entire pipeline. And that's really the solution to it. Yes. We need the resources to prepare for these things. We need to be already ready. We need those tools in our toolbox. beforehand. So we can kill it. We can crush the resumes. There's no reason we should go into an interview and feel nervous.
Right.
Like they want us. You know what I mean? Like they want us. So it's just about really putting those resources back into people's hands, the tangible resources. Like, yeah, we've been talking about it for a while. Everyone's been talking about this stuff for years. But what are the tangible resources that are really going to help people move forward? So that's really what I think.
Exactly. And with everything Geno just said, with the resources, if you identify as Black, Latinx, or Native American, and you have you're on the tech track and you have tech skills and you want to pursue a new career, or you're looking to start something, or you're in between, visit us at Shtudy.co, because we definitely want to help. And once you sign up, it's probably likely you'll be end up talking to one of us, and we want to make sure that your experience is remarkable, regardless of where you are. And even if you feel like, hey, you might not fall into that category, still hit us up anyway, because our whole end goal is to close the racial wealth gap, and that could be done in many different ways as well.
And what is I think it's always interesting, right? When we talk about numbers, they say men lie, women lie, numbers don't, right? And so, what are the numbers in the average medium income of the Black households and Latinx households in comparison to white households?
Off the top of my head, the numbers that I have is, I know that the average tech worker salary is about $135,000, and the average Black median household is about $58,000, and the
68.
68.
Yep, 68.
Okay.
Just checked it earlier.
Okay, and then the average Black Latinx household is
60.
Okay, so adding these things up together, you don't equal the average tech salary. So with that being said, what we recognize is that being able to obtain a career in this field could be change a generational trajectory. There's a lot of capital and money that you could add. If you have 10 of us tech folks in the room, that's about that's about $1 million. You know what I'm saying? That's about that's your 10 of us. You know what I'm saying? So you could see what you could start cultivating by being able to gain that capital power to change and be the change you want to see in your community, because you got the dollars to spend. And that's basically what we're seeing now with what's going on is, now with the the extra checks and things that are coming out, people got a little extra funds to now put in little spaces that they care about, So now when you have some money, you could put it towards things that you care about, which is really what's happening in other places, in other communities, to where you got excess money. So I put this thing that you could build the infrastructure that way. Right. So we do feel like by empowering each other and empowering our communities, that the change that we want to see could start literally from the grassroots part from the ground.
And that's how we save generations right there. That right there saves generations. 10 people equals 1 million, and our goal is to double the current 9% that Rayvoughn mentioned to 18%. And if we do that, we know that this entire country will completely shift wealth-wise in that mission to do so. So, I second everything Rayvoughn just said right there.
Yeah. So with especially for generations, I like how you guys say stuff that should be going on for generations, and I say it should start at a very young age. And I remember when I was in elementary school, I had a computer class.
Yeah,
but that was the only time throughout my school, from middle school and high school, that was my only time was actually me playing with computers. Middle school, I never experienced it. High school, didn't experience it. So I feel like we need to give our young Black and brown kids the opportunity to get tech savvy by having technology classes. Something that our school is actually doing. Shout out to Kristen for actually running our tech program at our school.
Yeah, her tech company is Mind Code Create. So
yeah, so okay. She's working with our boys, being more tech savvy, and some of our boys they know more than us right now because of her. And we need more opportunities like that in schools to have computer classes, to have tech classes, or any other kind of technology. It doesn't have to be computer, but it could be like iPads. It could be like breaking down a computer. I say we need more classes like this because, just having the typical 5 classes aren't enough, right? It's not history, math, ELA, science, and what's the other class am I missing? Am I missing something else?
Science, math, history.
History,
I
yeah.
thought you said history. Okay.
And that's not the only class that we need. I mean, we need to build. We need to have the arts. We need to have the technology. And in order for us to see that number increase, we need to have more funding in school in order for us to have more tech classes. So
Exactly.
here's my question: How else do we get more Black and brown kids involved in the tech industry?
That's a good one.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. We got to start them early, and we got to start them often. The world is shifting right now, and that means we have to shift with it. We have to shift faster than other people who are trying to make a shift, and we have to do it deliberately and aggressively. We can't count on we can't count on every university or every high school or middle school to supply the necessary curriculums. We don't even know if school is going to be nationally open. So with that said, life does not stop. Life does not slow down. We have to look into online coding classes. We have to look into, again, coding boot camps. And we have to look into the resources at our disposal, and we have to network more. Call your friends who may have worked on a website. Text the person you met at the business networking event who teaches coding classes or is trying to help people get certified in certain skills. If we start there and we stick there, and we continue to cultivate these relationships with the people within our communities, there's strength in numbers. And I think we just got to get on it. We got to start looking at the resources at our disposal. It takes 2 seconds to Google coding boot camps in my city, and if you don't like it, that's fine. But that's just the way the world is going right now. And even if someone takes another track because of their passion or whatever, at least they know their financial future is secure. We just got to start using the resources that we have. We can't wait on other people.
And only one thing I would add is that you just have to make it kind of fun again. When I was younger and in middle school, MySpace was still the craze, right? So people was also learning HTML, learning coding, right, and didn't realize that they had coding ability. They were just trying to make their page look cooler, right? So got to figure out ways to make it relatable.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Now we're closing out right now. But brothers, thank you for joining me on the Ghetto Prophets.
Thanks for having us.
Just tell the folks where they could find you at, especially Shtudy, social media, or any other pages. Go ahead. Geno first. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Y'all could check us out at shtudy.co. That's our website. If you or someone is looking for a tech role or a tech position, or even just looking to help out in any way, you can check us out at shtudy.co, shtudy.co. We'll definitely get back to you. We're more than happy to speak with anyone who needs help. And again, this is what we commit our lives to. So, don't hesitate at all.
Yeah, and also at on social media at Instagram, it's at shtudy.co. So like Geno mentioned, at shtudy.co.
Yeah,
so drop the follow and hit the buttons.
Thank you, and we'll definitely be promoted on the GP page as well.
Appreciate it.
Again, if you guys are really into the tech industry, please go ahead, sign up at Shtudy. And my fellas over here, my young kings, they'll definitely lead you to that right path. Now, for the GPs, you already know, don't forget to follow us on every social media platform, on Ghetto Prophet Podcast on IG, Ghetto Prophet Podcast 1 on Twitter, and Ghetto Prophet Podcast on Facebook. Yeah, and please don't hesitate to, ask us any questions on our IG page, because, we're willing to answer any questions that's burning, any question that you want an answer to, or if you guys want to have a hot debate and a healthy discussion, you know where to find us. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks. Peace.